Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef. So right from the outset, you'll notice that there's a heck of a lot of stuff on the table. There's a heck of a lot of stuff set up. The reality is, all of this area is personal player board stuff. All of the other is the combined board. So don't get stressed out. I'm very aware that player 1 over here and player 3 over here are slightly off screen. I'll run through the stuff from this player so you can all see what's going on, and we'll work out what to do when we get to actually doing a playthrough. But that's another issue. So in essence, this is a worker placement game. At the start of the game, you have 3 placements you will do. So you put your guy wherever you're placing the worker, might be there, for example. On the next turn, you will leave a marker there to show that you have gone there, and you'll go somewhere else, maybe there. Then you'll leave a marker and go somewhere else, might be here. You don't have to jump islands every time. I'm just going for whatever's close. And you do the actions on each time. Once you're out of markers and you've gone to that last spot, so in the beginning of the game, 3 places, that will be the end of the round. This then moves across to show that we're on round 2, and everyone gets 1 more marker. When you go to round 2, this die changes, and I'll talk about what that die is in a moment. And then when you get all the way around to round 4, you get 1 more marker again and another change of die. Let's run through what the spaces are to start with, because that's probably the most important thing to understand. Bear in mind, however, that this is a game about fighting against other monsters. You're not fighting other players, you're fighting other monsters. So I will start up at the Citadel of Time. There are 3 spots. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. You can cover any of those 3 and you will gain whatever is listed below. So if I go here, I will gain a card. Either the top face down card or one of the 5 face up cards. If I go here, I would get 3 oranges. These are the oranges. And I would remove 2 of those cards to be replaced. And then if I went there, I would get 3 of these shell markers. Each of those places can only be used once in a round. This spot, however, is unlimited. So any number of players can go there and do the thing. And what that is to replace all of your dice. So any dice that have been spent, you bring them all across to the active side. And I'll talk about what that is about in a moment. Once you have done the thing of that island, you will get to do the island event, which is draw or choose 2 cards. So the replacement of 2 cards, you may be looking at some different cards to choose to come into your hand. What are those cards about? They are similar to these cards, so I'll just use these because they're close. These are about fighting. So when you choose an island, there's a symbol up in the top left corner of the card. That is talking about the island. So this one's talking about that island over there. This card is talking about this island. So when you choose the card, it's saying you are fighting against that card. What you're trying to roll is that symbol just there. So at the moment, I have a maximum of 1 on the roll. There's a 1 on all 4 of the different things that you can move forward, but there's 1 on the roll. I could spend an orange to be able to roll both the dice, but when you roll, you will be taking this die as well. So let's say, for example, that was the roll. This X means that you move 1 of your shells across onto that card. If that was a blank side, you wouldn't have to move a shell. There's blank side on that one. There's question mark on this one. So that question mark, it means that you can choose any side. So if that's the card I've played, I could use that question mark to fulfill that triangle. Or synergy is the type of battle that you're doing. What I can also do is re-roll. I can re-roll any dice. So I'd leave that one and I would re-roll that. It doesn't cost you anything to do the re-roll, but be aware that if you roll another cross, you'll need to put another shell across. If you don't have shells, that's going to get you into some bother, because what you end up doing is you actually end up totally removing 1 of the dice. Now, that has rolled the triangle. So I have actually fulfilled both of the things for that particular challenge, which now means that I would push forward the circle that has that symbol twice. Of course, I've done it twice. So 1, 2 spots, which now means that I can have 2 character cards. These are your character cards. They are always there. Whenever you're selecting another character card, you will pick up 2 of them, decide which one you want, put that down here and put the other one underneath. That will also go underneath my board to show that I've done one of the things. If I achieve all 3, so 1 card in all 3, that will push me forward 2 spots on the points area. So push me forward to there. If I did that challenge on the same location where this guy is, this is the judge, he will be moving around every round. So in this case, I actually did that. I would move my marker forward 1. So because I've only done 1, I'm going up to 1 because of him. I would need to actually do the other 2 challenges to be able to move that forward another 2 spots. That's the essence of the fighting. You will go to each location and do the location first before you work out that fight. So let me run through what the other locations are. Here you will gain a blue die. Here you will gain a red die. Here you will gain another white die and an orange. And here you will gain one of these cards. These cards, they're referred to as stunts, and they can be played at any time to gain what is on the card. Why would I want to have other colored dice? I'm glad you asked. So that roll we did earlier, I was trying desperately to get these symbols. If I had brought in a blue die, the blue die has 2 of that symbol and 2 of the shield symbol. There's still a question mark, there's still a blank side. But bring that in makes it easier to get the symbol I'm looking for. Of course, there's now a 1/3 chance rather than a 1 in 6. Plus the question mark, of course. So that actually makes it a half versus a third. Once you've used the die, of course, they need to come across into the spent location. The one that hasn't been used can stay over there. If I went to the red one, obviously I would take a red die, which has those 2 symbols on it. The action of the location is to draw a stunt card. So you'll take one of these. If I'd gone here, I would obviously be taking 2 of them, and you can just hang on to them to use at any time. So with this one, for example, if you had a spirit level of 3, you would get refresh 1 die, which bring one of these back across. You get 1 shell, and you would choose one of the cards from up there. If you had a spirit level of 4, you could then also push forward one of the elements. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. That's just an idea of what's in that deck, and you can play those cards at any time that you wish, and as many as you like at any time that you wish. Lamara Station, I may mispronounce these words, I do apologize. So, going here, you'll get 2 oranges, and you'll be the start player from the next round. This is the start player marker, and the moment the player on the left has that. And that will stay with them until someone takes that spot for themselves. Here, you will gain 2 shells. Shells are important for when you're doing the battling. Here is the Racer's Bay. You're going to push this guy forward an extra spot. So the island itself pushes that forward once whenever you go to the spot. So you go there, you get what's underneath there, so he'd pick up one of these cards. If he's taken that spot, he would also go to here, which would give him another shell. If that's where it is, going there would push him forward on the champion board at the top. Going here would give him 2 more oranges. There would give him another card. It can be a blind card or one of the ones face up. And there gives him an extra white die. And here obviously pushes him forward one of those spots on the wheels. Remembering that the board itself or the island itself will push that forward for you anyway. So you don't have to take that spot. But going there, you will get both of the spots that it pushes past. On the Droska ring, you will get an orange, and you can discard 2 of the cards that are face up. Here you can get 2 more shells. There you can refresh as many dice as you have on the resilience track. So there's only 1 there at the moment. If he's pushed that round, he would have 2, which would say, for example, he's done that roll. He would be able to refresh both of those dice, which means they're now available again. Once you've done your action, you then do the board action, which is buying a card. So if you wish to buy the top card, you'll spend 1 orange to get 2 shells, you'll spend 3 oranges to get 5 shells, or you'll spend 4 oranges to get 2 dice and 1 more card from the top. Or if you don't wish to do that, you can just gain an orange. So you have the options there. If this player in his placement wish to go here, even though all the spots are taken, you can still go to the board. You're just not going to get the benefit of any of those spots. You will get the benefit of the board, and you can do the challenge. I don't think that I mentioned before that with challenges, you do need to be standing on the location of where that challenge is from. So if he has these cards, there's no point in him going there, but there is definitely a point in going over here. Even if those spots have already been taken, he can still go there. He'll get the benefit of that card from moving that forward, and then he can do the challenge that's at that location. The other board, and this is a pretty important board as well, is referred to as the fold, which is this board up the top. What you are doing is the exact same rolling conditions that you've just used for the other cards, but you're trying to cover up these areas. So if, for example, I know he can't at the moment, but if he was able to roll all 4 dice, he would roll those 4. That would give him one of these, which he would cover with his own marker. It gives him 2 somethings and a nothing. So his choice of what he wishes to cover, maybe these 2. Of course, when you do the roll, you would still roll that, so you need to put some shells across, or a shell across. If this one had rolled that side, he would be able to cover up this area at the top. You notice that little symbol says that he would push forward 1 on the champion board. So wherever you have that symbol, you're pushing forward 1. Now there is a kill bonus, so if you manage to kill that, which means cover this and this spot, you would get another push forward, but you don't have to kill him. So he could leave that there and go off and do the rest of his turns. What's going to happen at the end of the round is everything here moves down 1 once you've rolled, and that's rolling to see if he invades. And basically if he invades, everyone who doesn't have a marker on him, so hasn't gone in and beaten that monster, would lose a die. So if this roll was a 6, it's talking about this one, so he would come in and both this player and that player would both lose a die out of what they had. But the purple player would not lose a die because he has actually already been in and defeated him. When the monster is killed, everyone who has a marker there would gain that reward. The player who does the final piece of damage to the monster and actually kills him would get the kill bonus, which is the point that I was talking about before. And then once he's dead, any of these markers just get pushed to the side because each of those is worth a point at the end of the game. And that then gets discarded. If, however, it hasn't been completely finished off yet, it just stays there. At the end of the round, we roll. Everyone who hasn't got a marker on there gets attacked, which loses a die. And then that guy moves down to that and a new card comes out. If the same happens, so no one has attacked him again, we roll dice. So one of the 2 monsters, a 1 to 5 on this guy, a 6 to 8 on this guy, is going to attack. And then everything moves down again. If he hasn't been completely killed, the markers that have gone on him still go over there, and he just toddles off without anyone getting the bonus for the kill or the reward for being part of the kill. And anyone who hasn't been part of killing that monster would lose a point on the champion board when he flees as well. When the round ends, so that's after the 3rd turn that everyone has taken, a couple of things will happen. First, there's the monster invasion, which I was just talking about. And then we advance the monsters. So the monster invasion is roll the dice and the monster hits anyone who hasn't attacked him. Advance the monsters, as I was just talking about. So bring that monster card down 1 spot. Any that are on the bottom will flee, giving a -1 point to anyone who hasn't attacked it. Then we refresh and upgrade the dice. So if the dice have all been used, what you're looking at is the resilience track. Okay, so everything refreshes, but having a resilience of 2 means I can upgrade 2 of my dice. What am I talking about with upgrading dice? I'm glad you asked. It comes down to this board. So everyone starts as a novice. When you upgrade your die, you're choosing to go the blue path or the red path. And that basically gives you 2 of these symbols if you're on the red, 2 of those symbols if you're on the blue. You can upgrade those dice to these dice. These dice have shared symbols, so they show both on each side, on one side. I believe there are 2 sides with both of them showing. And then one side. So in essence, with this die, you have a 5 out of 6 chance of hitting the symbol that you're looking for. If you have one of those dice, you can upgrade that again to this die, which shows the double symbol. So this one counts as 2 on that spirit symbol hit. So as you go further out, you're choosing which die to go to. In order to get the guild die, you need to have the red die for this side, or if you wish to get the guild die on this side, you need to go for the blue dice. So it's a gradual process of upgrading. Each die will only upgrade once, so the movement I just made is not allowed. You need to upgrade from this die, which is the initiate, to an elite die, which is that. You can't then, in the same move, upgrade from an elite die to the guild die. You'd need to upgrade something else. Once you've done those upgrades of the dice, you then collect back all of your stuff. So your guy and any action discs that you've got lying around. Move the judge, so he would step down to the next location, always going in the same direction. And then we look at tournament standing. So this player, he's the furthest forward on the champion board, which means he's got that. So we would take a marker and he would have the point for round 1. If that's what it looked like, no one would get that point. So you need to be the only person who is the furthest forward to get that point. Notice on the final round, there's more points for being further ahead. So there's 3 points instead of just the 1. Then move this along. So we're swapping out that die. Everyone gets another marker and we go into the next round. I think that is the essence of this game. We have covered everything, I hope, other than the final scoring. So there is a score pad, and what you're getting is points on the cards that you've defeated. So there's 1 point on that card. The score of the position of each of your wheels. So this one's turned to here, which is past the 1 point. This one would need to get to there to get 1 point. If this one had turned to here, he'd be getting 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. So your positioning on the champion board will get you the points. In the final scoring with the 3 points, if there are 2 people on the lead spot, you would take the 5 points and split them between the 2 of them, rounding down, so they get 2 points each. Plus the points on each, the point for the winner of each round needs to be there as well. You then get the points of whatever you've passed. So on the track at the moment, both the green and the pink have passed the 1, so they will get 1 more point there, and the other player has not moved at all. Then you're scoring 1 point per monster hit, so the tokens that got knocked off the monsters as they were completed, they're worth a point each, so it's worthwhile going after that. Then you're scoring this card. I didn't really talk about this card. Everyone will have one of these at the beginning. Notice that I've got the wheel on these ones, so that's kind of the suggested first thing. And what's happening is this guy is getting 4 points for every challenge that has these markers. So they're called synergy challenges. And if he gets 5 of them, he'll get 10 points. So you gain the points for that card. And then these bottom bits are about variant stuff. I'm not going to go into that for the moment, because there's enough going on with this game to not have to worry too much about them as well. Okay, I think that's everything for Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef. Please go ahead and watch my gameplay to get a feel for how the game actually plays. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.